Hey YouTube, it's your girl.
Good morning, welcome back in. It is time for the Culture, where we highlight DC area history, traditions, and cultural issues that matter. Statistics show that a disproportionate number of minorities are reported missing in the United States.
This week, our Michael Connor shows us how two Black women right here from our area have worked for more than a decade to do something about it.
These are the faces of the Black and missing. Left in the shadows. Each year, there are hundreds of thousands of people of color who are reported.
All these screens up for this live. So now I got these pop-ups. I have to figure out where this sounds is coming from.
Across the country.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so we are back. Okay, so sorry for that. I have a lot of pages up because I've been doing some research on Jelani Day. I wanted to talk about, this young man, this Black man, this aspiring doctor, medical doctor. I know he wanted to be a doctor. Not exactly sure what his interest was, in the medical field, but I know he wanted to be a doctor. And today I started hearing talks that, autopsy returned that there were many, there were missing organs from his body. So I wanted to get on here and talk about that because I was quite disturbed by that information. So I kind of did some research on that, found some articles that spoke on the case. If any of you are familiar with it, have any information, please, drop it in the comments and, we can kind of build from that. But this story has kind of just been, it's one of those stories. It's just been growing legs, much like our girl Kelly Price, when, we had learned that, she was supposed to have been missing. And then it turned out, well, no, she wasn't missing. That wasn't a real story. I say that as when I say the comparison, because few hours ago when I was planning for this live and doing my research, the articles were, the articles I was coming across were talking about Jelani's death, the missing organs. And then right before I went live, I came across another article that said that there were no missing organs per his mother. So we'll get into that, but there's like some things I want to share with you all. This past Saturday, Jelani's going away service was held. So I'm gonna share, and I'm gonna share that with you all, the article or the screen with that has some information pertaining to his homecoming, his going, what would you call that? His service, his memorial. So I want to share that. But I want to also just kind of get into just the whole story behind his disappearance. Because I didn't really hear about his disappearance until after he'd been considered missing for some time, at least, weeks. Because apparently, he went missing in August. I didn't learn about him being missing until probably maybe like a week and a half ago. So it hasn't been that long to me, since I learned that he was missing. I would say probably by the time I learned he was missing, it was kind of after the body had been found. But it's just a lot of moving parts to this story. So I want to just get into it all because I'm just trying myself to get some clarity on some things. So we'll start with, I'm going to share this article because I did see clips of this interview where his mother had been, she was speaking with someone. I think she was on, I don't know, maybe if it was the BNC channel, YouTube channel for Black, I think that stands for Black News Channel, with Mark Lamont Hill. I think she maybe was speaking with him maybe about a week ago, but she talked about just not feeling as though she was getting a lot of help from the local authorities when it came to the investigation of her son, and just how the coroner, was rude. So I want to share this article where, she talks about that. So let me share my screen. So this is going to be on Bossip. Let me share this screen, because I found that to be, quite disturbing when she talked about, the energy that was given to her when she was talking to the coroner about, her son. So hashtag Jelani Day update. Mother recalls coroner catching an attitude amid questions. Do you want us, quote, do you want us to identify your son or not? End quote. So the clip of the interview that I caught with her doing on another, YouTube channel, she talked about that. So, that was kind of quite disturbing. But this article says more details are surfacing about the shocking and sad passing of Jelani Day, and some of them are seriously disturbing. As previously reported, Carmen Bolden Day, the mother of Jelani Day, said that officials from local police and the coroner's office were dismissive, rude, and complacent amid the search for her late son. So this is a picture of her son. So I want to see if in here. So let me see. The Chicago Sun-Times recently released a story titled "Some Things No Mother Should Have to Endure," chronicling the moments leading up to Jelani Day's October 9th funeral service. So within the report that questions whether Jelani's case would have been handled differently if he were not Black and male, but a woman who was white and blonde, is the heartbreaking moment when Miss Day got a call from the coroner with good news, with quote unquote, good news, unquote. The news was that the quote office had received new dental records, end quote, and was coming closer to identifying a found body in the river. So according to Jelani's mother, who goes by Lorraine Sunshine Bolden on Facebook, however, that portion isn't quite true and sounds like she felt the need to clarify the rumors that her son's organs were harvested. Okay, so earlier today, I was hearing talks that her son's body was missing a lot of organs, like he was missing his teeth, his jawline was removed, his brain, I think his liver, like a lot of organs. So mom, Lorraine Sunshine Bolden, is saying that's not true. Her son's organs were not missing. So this is what she wrote. She still wants FBI to find her son's killer, but what she wants to clarify, she's quote, "Some things need and have to be clarified," wrote Miss Bolden. "No organs were missing. I do not want to stray off from the facts. There were and are contradicting facts from the first preliminary autopsy compared to the second independent autopsy. This is not a case of organ harvesting that I'm aware of. However, my son did not put himself in a river. My son was murdered, and my goal and purpose is to find out what happened and hold those responsible accountable. I need the help of the Illinois State Police and the FBI to find this information, because Bloomington PD, Peru PD, and LaSalle County has failed my son and myself." So just to be clear, as it stands with the missing organs, his organs were not missing. Let me see. I'll share another article where where it goes in depth. Let me see. I'm going to share my screen of the homegoing, the service. And I think this was the article that where it's more detail pertaining to that. Remember service. So So, as Jelani Day, remember that service. Mourners pray for healing and answers.
Good morning. Welcome back in. It is time for the culture.
Okay.
Where we highlight DC area history.
Let me see. Something else is playing in the background.
Show that a disproportionate number of minorities are reported missing in the United States.
This week, our Michael Connor shows us how
let me figure out where that is. I guess this is what happened when you got a bunch of stuff open. Where is it?
Are the faces of the Black and missing, people who vanished and are often left in the shadows. Each year, there are hundreds.
Okay, so we stopped that. We'll go to that one because that's a good one that I want to share with you. So let me see. Do you guys got this? So this is the service that was on this past Saturday. As Jelani Day, remember that service. Mourners pray for healing and answers. So this is Jelani. Yeah. So Jelani Day returned home Saturday, a radiant, good, and honorable native son. His remains laid in a closed mahogany-colored casket, highlighted in bronze and topped with a spray of white flowers that was flanked by the multicolored assortment of dozens of roses and other floral arrangements that shone as vibrantly as the life that friends and family say he lived before it was unjustly cut short. So his remains laid in, let me see, but it is unquestionably a celebration of life of the 25-year-old Illinois State University graduate student whose body was found September 4th floating in the Illinois River in Peru, despite the mystery and questions surrounding his disappearance and death. The more than 3.5-hour afternoon service, which began at noon and was held at the downstate Danville High School, flowed with tears and with music, with prayers and praise. There were also messages of faith and hope. Perhaps no message rang more loudly than a declaration that it ain't over. Not his legacy or light, not the demand for justice for Jelani Day. The journey does not stop here, his mother, Carmen Bolden Day, told mourners. I'm only getting ready to lay Jelani to rest, but I can't rest because I don't know what happened to him. Whoever you are, I want you to know your time will come, the mother continued as the crowd rang out in support. Jelani did not deserve this. No, he did not. So this is a picture of him and his mom. I'll play this. Let me see. There's a clip in here I can play. Is this it? Let me see. Maybe it's going to be on another page, but there's a clip I can share where his mother spoke at the service. So let me share Pendergraph. I'm gonna share that screen so you can, listen to what his mom had to say as she laid her son to rest. It's a sad day. Let's see, Jelani. Let me see. Is this it? No, let's see. P. Okay. Let me get my screens. I got a lot of screens. It was a lot of researching I was doing about this story. So I want to share. So this is, I'm going to play this clip for you all. Mother, lawyer comment about the report of organs missing from Jelani Day. So this is the memorial for Jelani Day. Illinois State University student fell onto the floor of the Redbird Arena during the memorial for Jelani Day on Thursday. So this is Carmen Bolden Day as she lay. So I'll play this.
And the journey does not stop here. I'm only getting ready to lay Jelani to rest. But I'm not going to rest because I can't rest because I don't know what happened to Jelani. And because I don't know what happened to Jelani, I'm seeking answers to find out what happened to Jelani. And while I'm seeking answers to find out what happened to Jelani, me and his siblings, my family, his dad, we are going to need all of you to help us find out what happened to Jelani. When we make out those calls and we put out the word that we need you guys to call, if I ask y'all to call the FBI, believe me, I need y'all to call the FBI.
Right.
That's my next step to do. After today, I get to do what I have to do here. The struggle continues though because I can't let this rest.
So that was Jelani's mom speaking.
Okay now.
Worrying about the story. My head going down. Like I have you waiting. That's when things start happening. I start looking down. My head going.
So that was a sad day. Bloomington says the mother of Jelani Day in a social media post said no organs were missing from her son, an Illinois State University student whose body was found in the Illinois River last month. The Chicago Sun-Times over the weekend reported that when the body was found, the family's private forensic pathologist could find no brain, according to Day and her attorney. Excuse me, no organs, neither liver nor spleen. So it says the details received intense interest on social media on Sunday and Monday. The story later explained the organs had decomposed after his body spent several days in a river and therefore were not present when the second autopsy was performed. Jelani's mother, Carmen Bolden Day, in a Facebook post Monday said some things need and have to be clarified. No organs were missing. I do not want to stray off from the facts. So Hallie Besner, attorney for Day's family, told the Pentagraph she believes the Sun-Times report.
Good morning, welcome back
accurate.
in. It is time for the Culture, where we highlight DC area history, traditions, and cultural issues that matter. Statistics show that
Okay. Okay, let me go back to where I was. So the attorney for Day's family told the Pentagraph she believes the Sun-Times report was accurate, but having seen rumors circulating on social media that misconstrued the story, I think that people read between the lines to try to have some conspiracy that doesn't exist. The organs had not been removed prior to Day's death, Besner said of the pathology reports. Bolden Day says, as far as she is aware, there is not a case of organ harvesting. Authorities have not released what caused the death or how Jelani Day ended up in the water. The 25-year-old went missing on August 24th, and his car was found in Peru 2 days later. The body was discovered in the river on September 4th. The LaSalle County Coroner's Office confirmed it was Day's body on September 23rd. A memorial service was held Saturday in Danville, where Day graduated from high school. So there you go. We're not dealing with the organ harvesting, situation, because I know, to be honest, that whole narrative is kind of what prompted me to say, to want to come on here on this channel, to talk about him. Because, most of the time, I'm talking about, celebrity type, drama type stuff. But I'm like, okay, this young man's organs were missing. I got to come on here and talk about it. And so right before jumping on, I'm like, okay, let me do some more research. And I came across, the site, where mom's like, no, his organs weren't missing. They were just decomposed. So they kind of, excuse me, weren't present, there like that anymore. So that is a difference, so let's see how long it's going to take for that part to circulate around the internet, because right now, if you do a search, just on YouTube, it's everybody's talking about the young man's organs being removed from his body. So I think it is important for us, anyone who do catch this live or playback, just to make sure that it is known out there that, we're not dealing with an organ harvesting case. Now, we are dealing with some suspect behavior type stuff where we still need to understand why this young man was found in the river. When the family wholeheartedly believed that he did not commit suicide, because that was initially kind of what the police kind of was trying to, the narrative they were trying to spin to the parents, like, okay, we don't see any signs of foul play, so it looks like he, may have committed suicide. And we all know, your loved one, so you already know, okay, if somebody come at you talking about, okay, yeah, this person disappeared, yeah, because they ran away, like, you already kind of know the mindset of somebody that you close to, especially when it's your child. So somebody can't try to come and tell you something about your child, some stranger, when you know your child better than anybody else. So she already knew, no, my son didn't just go and just jump in the river. Like, he's an aspiring, like, he's working hard to be a doctor, close relationship with his family. Like, it don't make sense. It's not sitting right in her spirit. She knows something's not right. So as mom said, we don't want to lose focus here on the issue of, we need to find out what happened to Jelani. The focus right now, shouldn't be on this narrative of missing organs, because that's not, according to mom, that's not what happened. Because, we really, earlier today, it's like when I was listening to, with people, other content creators talk about, the missing organs, naturally, we was in our feelings about that, because it's just like, what do you mean, the organs, were missing? Like, make it make sense. It's already sad that the young man was found, dead, floating in the river. And then you're saying that his eyes are missing, his teeth, his brain, his liver, like, you're saying all this is missing on top of that. So that was like a hard pill to swallow. And it prompted me to want to jump on tonight to talk about that. But I had to kind of make a shift when I seen that mom's like, no, his organs weren't missing. They were decomposed, but I want to, keep the focus on the fact that my son ended up in a river in the first place, and he didn't put himself there, that part. So that's kind of, what I want to make sure that I come out here on my platform to kind of put out there to, those who do frequent my channel for information updates on just things going on. So you'll have the most recent information that's out there. And as usual, I always put in the descriptions the websites that I use to get information from, that I show you. But much of the sites, that I did find that I wanted to kind of come on here and bring to you, it was talking about, his organs being removed, and people like in their feelings about that. But I don't really want to even like get into that, because it's, according to mom, that's not true. But what I do want to share that I did come across, as I was just, researching this case, I heard someone talk about that many may not know, but Black men go missing in a greater number than any other group of people, even children. And that's not something that we really hear a lot of. Like, we hear about, women, children, and things like that, but it's not that often, I know for me, that I hear discussions about Black men coming up missing. So I did some research on that, and I found a study, a report that I want to share with you all, because I think this is information that people really should know, because if I didn't know this fact, I would imagine there's a lot of others out there that may have not known that either. So if you can see my screen, this is what I found on WUSA 9, and it reads 230,000 people of color reported missing in the U.S. The Black women are doing something about it. Hashtag for the culture. So this quote, the numbers are high and they're growing. Natalie Wilson with the Black and Missing Foundation told us so. This article is, consisting of, it's two Black women who formed or started an organization to focus on just the missing people of color just within our community, because it definitely goes underreported. Right now, it's almost like minute by minute, hour by hour, they're giving, probably second by second, they're giving updates about the white young lady, Gabby Petito. We've all been hearing about her. I did see during my research that I think tomorrow her autopsy is expected to come out. I really haven't, to be honest, guys, haven't even been really following Gabby like that, just because there's been so much going on just within our community to where we're underserved. So I've been choosing, like, for example, a couple of weeks ago when Kelly Price was presumed to be missing and it turned out she wasn't, I did a live on that, and some people, some of the listeners, brought up Gabby and they were sharing information with her. And I told them, I really hadn't been focused on her story just because she's getting so much attention, to where I wanted to put my energy on the attention of the people in our community that don't get that type of attention. So that's why that night I was on doing my live about Kelly Price, because at that point it hadn't come out, or she hadn't, quote unquote, spoken out saying, hey, I'm good. She then, maybe a day or two after I did my live, she spoke out, or there was a video, and I went back and did do an updated video about, Kelly coming out saying, hey, I'm good. Now, on a side note, some people are trying to say that wasn't even her and that she still is missing. Listen, I don't know nothing about that part. I just know something. If there was a video put out about Kelly that looked like Kelly in that video, whether or not it was a hologram, I don't know, but it was a video that looked like her with her saying, I'm good. Whether or not that's really her and it's some conspiracy, some industry stuff, and she's still missing, I don't know. Because what this channel is definitely not a conspiracy type channel, nothing like that. So we basically just deal with what's kind of put out there, and then we just discuss it. So that's what I did. I did that updated video on Kelly Price. So you can go check out those videos on Kelly Price I did on that. But that night we did we did actually touch on Gabby, because her name came up, and, we were just talking about, she was getting a lot of attention, and, Kelly Price, her situation, it wasn't garnering nearly as much attention as Gabby. So as I was just researching about just our missing people and how, the numbers in which people of color go missing, things like that, I came across this article, or I guess this report, looks like it says from WUSA 9, and it's dated February 20th, 2020. And it says hundreds of thousands of people of color are reported missing each year. And one DC-based nonprofit organization said the public normally does not hear about them. The numbers are high and they're growing. Natalie Wilson with the Black and Missing Foundation, BAMF, told WUSA 9. The BAMF was founded in 2008 by Derica and Natalie Wilson to bring awareness to the issue and other resources to families of missing people of color. So it also goes on to say the latest data from the FBI shows there were more than 600,000 people reported missing in 2008 in the US. In 2018 in the US. And 40% of those people were people of color. Now, marinate on that. More than 600,000 people reported missing in the year 2018 in the US, but in 40% of those people were people of color. That's nearly half. We don't even make up nearly half of the population. I believe this article may show us in another part, but we're like 13%, y'all, of the population. So how we only like 13% of the population, but we're like nearly half of all missing cases? Make it make sense. People in our community didn't realize that this was a problem because when they turned the TV on, they did not see anyone that looked like us, Derica Wilson explained. We being people of color. Two sisters hitting the pavement, hitting the ground running. They took notice that this really is an issue. Black and missing. The sisters-in-law attacks the problem using their law enforcement and public relations experience. That's awesome. Their goal was to make sure missing people of color got equal coverage in the media and that the police have the resources they need to take each case seriously. Quote, we believe that these stories aren't sensational enough or they are stereotypes. Many times when a person of color is reported missing, they're believed to be involved in some type of criminal act, and normally that is not the case, end quote, Natalie Wilson said. Another quote, and that's why we exist, Derica Wilson added, so we can actually push these images and the names out there. Quote, what are their names? Question mark. What do they look like? Question mark. Natalie and Derica Wilson have had their work featured on national platforms in WUSA 9 for years. So check this out. So this is a 2018 statistics for the United States. More than 600,000 people missing, 59% being white, and this is including Hispanic, 38% being minority. So we're following in this. We're following this. But again, we're only like 13% as far as Black people in the US population. So for us to make up so many cases of missing persons, to me, it just goes to show that there's something intentional going on with just the Black community, with Black people, for us to become missing in such high numbers. So I found that to be, quite interesting. I didn't know that. And especially to learn, like I said, I was listening to someone earlier and they were talking about, in particular, within those numbers, Black men actually are missing, in higher numbers than, I guess, your women or even the Black children. So again, when I was listening to, this person, the content creator, they were talking, the discussion was also talking about just with organ harvesting, things like that. And it kind of led down that path of just men and, them going missing and things like that. But as we see from what Jelani Day's mom is saying, we're not dealing with an organ harvesting situation. We're dealing with someone who is believed to have been murdered, even though it looks like in the books the police has it down. I think they may have it down still as a suicide, because I believe early on when I was learning about the case, the mom was saying that they were trying to say it looks like it was a suicide. So I'm not quite clear if they did put that down. Also, another thing, I haven't heard anything as far as the autopsy returning what the actual cause of death is. I know it's been clear that the organs were still there, but I hadn't seen anything about as far as the actual cause of death. So if you guys do have that information, please, drop it in the comments so, we can, to let me know and we can have the most updated information. I want to share this article too. It actually goes into, I guess it's kind of like, gives information in comparison to the attention this story is getting in comparison to, Gabby Petito. So let me share that as well. But that's pretty interesting too, as far as when, like, as I say, it's not getting nearly as much attention, as the story with Gabby. Gabby, I'm not going to say Gabby shouldn't get the attention she's getting, but I'm saying this young man should also get the same type of attention as well. That's what I'm saying. We just want to be fair about it. We don't want to take away anything from Gabby, but we basically need to add some more fuel to the fire when it comes to, our brother Jelani Day. So Twitter demands justice for Jelani Day after autopsy finds organs were removed from his body. So as I've talked about, mom said the organs were still there. They just decomposed. But I want to share this article because it also went into the lack of, how the family and things felt about just the attention that's been garnered pertaining to Jelani's day. So let me see. Before his body was found, Day's mother expressed her frustration about the lack of coverage regarding his disappearance. I was very frustrated with the fact that Jelani hadn't been getting the coverage, Carmen Day told the Sun-Times. Jelani has been missing for 24 days. It appears that help has ceased. I'm imploring, pleading, and asking that police still pay attention and look for my son. At the time, the media coverage was heavily centered around missing woman Gabby Petito, about whom Day's mother said her face is plastered everywhere and the FBI is involved. And I do not understand why Jelani doesn't get that same coverage. Jelani doesn't get the same attention. On Monday, October 11th, hashtag Justice for Jelani Day began trending on Twitter as users pointed out the disturbing circumstances surrounding his death. Quote, one day y'all will soon realize organ trafficking is just as real and scary as sex trafficking. If you look into how Black bodies are found with no organs inside of them, you'll be very surprised and disgusted. Quote, in a quote, one person wrote. So again, that's kind of people going off of that narrative that his organs were missing, and mom has cleared that up. It's like, no, they weren't. They were just decomposed. An article about Jelani Day said multiple of his organs was missing. I definitely feel like they organs. So that's that. Okay. Here's another quote. Jelani didn't kill himself. His body was found with no organs. His genitals were damaged. Okay. So y'all, that's running rampant, the whole thing about his organs kind of being missing. So y'all know how it's far easier for something to kind of spin out of control than for the truth to kind of circulate and get everywhere it needs to go. So I think it might going to take a little while for people to let go of this idea, I guess, or the belief that the young man's organs were missing, because it's all over the internet. So I don't know who worded whatever. I guess clearly somebody made a big mistake when they put it out there earlier or yesterday, whenever they put out there, when they described, I guess, whatever the situation with his organs. But the world is believing that this young man's organs were missing, and mom is saying, no, they're not. I just hope that quickly circulates so people kind of won't be kind of running with that whole narrative and they stay focused on, the facts. But do you guys remember this young man? He's from, I believe, here in Georgia where I'm at, I believe the Kendrick Johnson young man, when his body was found, he was rolled up and his body was found rolled up in a mat inside of the gym at his school.
Good morning, welcome back in. It is time for the culture, where we highlight
I don't
DC area
understand how these
history,
articles
traditions,
just
and cultural issues
randomly
that matter.
just start
Statistics show that a
playing these commercials.
disproportionate number of
So let
minorities
me
are
try to
reported
find this one. Let me just, So that was another, situation where the young man's, like, his body was found rolled up in a mat. And I believe, if I'm just going off the memories of the details of that, his body was stuffed with newspaper. Yeah. His body was stuffed with newspaper. And I never recalled any closure really coming with that case. I don't even know what they what the police deem that as, because back when that happened, I wasn't a content creator like doing things like this. So I just remember, the things from just what was put out there in the media, on the news about him. And for some reason, I'm feeling like he was here. It was here in Georgia where I live. But yes, that was just a big deal. Actually, that was my first time ever hearing about someone's body, like with the whole harvesting thing and how the body been found with no organs. Like that was all new to me with hearing about stories, that since then, I've heard of things happening, of course, with our people. But have you guys even heard of any stories where that happened with anybody other than Black, as far as with the bodies found and the organs missed? Like, I haven't heard anything, like that with any other race of people. It seemed like it's just us. But this is Jelani and this is Kendrick Johnson. May both our brothers rest in peace. But again, I just wanted to come out here and just send love to him, share his story with those who are listening now or who may come across my video. It's sad as far as what happened with him. He didn't deserve what happened to him. And I pray that the family do get justice and the truth come out, that we come to learn what really happened with him, who did this, because he deserves justice. And I truly believe the mom and the family, they're not going to get rest until they get answers. And anyone who have loved ones would feel that I can't imagine someone, regardless of your race, culture, group, not being able to relate. It's one of those things with what his mom is going through isn't something that many of us hopefully cannot relate to because we haven't endured losing a child or a close loved one, but we can, have empathy for the situation. And if you are a parent, and the love you have for your child, I'm a parent. I just can't imagine what that type of pain may feel like. So I do thank you for anyone who did catch this live and who do catch the playback. Please like, share, subscribe, drop your comments. Let me know your thoughts. If you do have any updates pertaining to the story, as time go on, I may come back and do an update if I get some information that I feel that may be helpful, or if I need to maybe even clarify anything that I said tonight on this video. But I will put the links of the sources that I use in the descriptions so you can, look into them for yourself, because I just want the truth to be out there. And I really would like the stop of that whole narrative of, I guess, his organs being missing to just stop, because I was just prior to jumping on this live telling, a family member, my husband and my sister-in-law about the story. Oh yeah, his organs were like, I was saying it. Then when I get home, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's not true. That's not true. So I want to put that out there. I just want to get the truth out there, out to the world about Jelani Day. So I do thank you for listening. And leave your comments. I love to read comments. Let me know if there's anything you'd like for me to discuss, topics you'd like for me to talk about, and we can get into it. So until the next broadcast, peace.